In the previous episode, it was mentioned that everyone was eagerly competing to eat the food cooked by Riene. At the dining table, Count Alex looked at Felix and asked, "By the way, how is Duke Cornwall doing?" Felix replied, "It's not the right time to say." Alex responded, "I'm curious about the progress too." Felix, with a dark face, said, "You'll be informed when the time is right." Alex felt that Felix was angry and replied, "Okay." In reality, Felix was angry because he didn't get to eat the food cooked by his fiancée. Quietly, Riena watched the lively conversation of the Count's family and recalled how no one would talk during meals at her home. Riena started to worry if she would ever be able to have a conversation with the Count's family. The Count's wife, Evely, interrupted Riene's thoughts and asked, "Riene, have you finished eating?" Riena responded that she had. Evely instructed Riena to rest. Riena worriedly asked, "What about the cleaning?" Before she could finish her sentence, Riena lowered her head and answered that she had finished. Evely looked at Riene's retreating figure and said, "Why don't we have afternoon tea together later? Is that okay?" Riena happily replied, "Yes," and respectfully exited the living room. Count Alex pitifully asked Evely what about him. Evely rejected the Count, saying that it was a gathering for women only. The Count seemed disappointed, and there were many inner thoughts in his mind. Evely felt that the Count had changed, that he wasn't like this before. It turned out that it was the Count who first suggested adopting a child. Having a daughter seemed like a good idea. The Count, in a dejected tone, said, "My dear." Evely completely ignored her own husband, thinking that he was becoming more childish as he grew older. On the other hand, after resting, Riena followed the maid, Jane, to Evely's room. Walking in the corridor, Riena marveled at the beautiful decorations in the Count's house. Jane introduced herself to Riena and assured her that she would take care of Riene's daily needs. Jane also promised that if Riena needed anything, she could always come to her. "Knock, knock," Evely said, "Come in." Riena looked at Evely, who was sitting at the desk and seemed busy. Evely apologized to Riena and asked her to have a cup of tea on her own as she needed some time to finish her work. Riena quietly sat down, holding the teacup and smelling the tea fragrance. Suddenly, Evely asked, "Are you satisfied with the room? It was prepared by me, not sure what the young ladies prefer these days. You can also change the style according to your preferences." Riena replied, "No need, I really like it." Riena continued, "The wardrobe is a bit strange. It seems to have some mistakes." Evely clapped her hands and said, "Right. The wardrobe. It shouldn't be a wardrobe but a fitting room." Evely mumbled to herself, "If it's a fitting room, it seems a bit small." Riena interrupted and said, "No, it's not like that. The fitting room has too many clothes, it feels like I've entered someone else's room." Riena thought to herself that all those clothes were so beautiful, and she wondered if it would be okay to try them on. But Evely laughed and said that all those clothes were prepared by her, Felix, Eden, and Joffrey as gifts for Riene. Evely continued, saying that everyone has different tastes, so she let Riena guess who gave which gifts. Riena thanked them. Evely jokingly said, "We all prepared them together, but thank you doesn't seem enough." Riene, happy and shy, said, "Thank you, mother." Evely smiled with relief. Evely and Riena then started their tea party. Evely asked Riena what she would like to do. Riena seemed uncertain. Evely told Riena that times have changed and women can live independently. Riena was shocked by Evely's words and began to have various thoughts. Riena thought that it might be a warning, that even if she were kicked out of the Count's house in 2 years, she could still live independently.